Hello beautifuls, my name is Epic Treasure and welcome to the channel. So if you have been here with me for a long time, welcome back to Elden Ring. You know how much I've covered this in the past and we're back, baby. If you're new though, come like, subscribe, hit the notification button. I'm live, but I don't go live and tell everybody about it usually because my schedule is just terrible. So I just pop up like a Pokemon. Ask your questions, feel free to do that. And you're welcome to come join the Discord channel. So this video, I'm going to go through the process of the entire experience and all the way to the end when we do night 3, which is the final boss. Buckle up and enjoy the story. So this was the first time I played Recluse. Recluse is the character that is like the sorcerer, if you will. The default is the glintstone. But the bonus with this is, with all the characters, obviously you can wield any weapon that you want. As long as you're the right level to do so, then it's fine. You'll see me switch weapons a few times, and this was the first time that I got to night 3. This is my second time with the playtest. The first one I was only playing for half an hour because I didn't look at the times. But here you'll see the group of 3, so you're always in a group of 3, and also you can be the same characters too. It doesn't force you to have to pick a different character, so tick the box for that. That's a big win for me. The Recluse, as you can see, she's got that glintstone thing, but she runs out of FP kind of quickly. She runs out of her mana kind of quickly. And as you can see, there's boxes there. This is shared loot. So as soon as somebody grabs it, she's gone. And as soon as you switch your loot out, say if you pick up a shield, and at this point I didn't know I could carry a shield, and then I grabbed it and then off I went. I thought, oh okay, this is better than nothing. And they're already sort of wailing on this big boy. And one of the first runs that I'd done with this, the team just went out nuts on this dude. I'm like, don't we calm down? This is, is a little bit daunting because, that horsey guy he'll do bad things to you. The carrier knight is a wild boy. So as you can see with this, if you don't know anything about this, when your character falls down, gets knocked down, your team can sort of hit you and then you get back up again. So that's how you get revived basically, which is quite interesting to get sort of slapped back to life. And so one of the teammates took off here. They thought, nah bro, we're just gonna go. And I'm like, okay, this other guy stayed back. So there's no communication in our group at all. I know a lot of people play with their friends, but in this case, we're total strangers, absolutely no communication at all. So you can see in this place the finger seal, and I just grabbed both of them. I don't know why I did that. I just grabbed both of these finger seals. But everybody could have got one of those, but I don't think they wanted them anyway. So you can do the incantations. So you can grab the different weapons and put them in, that first column. As you can see on the bottom left, we can see I've got my staff equipped, and then the finger seal on the other side. So you can switch and chop and change those around as you like. So if I picked up a sword, I could put that where the finger seal is instead. And then you can just switch them out. So you could do like a little bit of an incantation, and then you can switch to sword. If you ran out of FP and you just want to slash, off you go. Or you can bring up a shield, etc. So this is a point where I'm on struggle street because I was getting poisoned to death, and just trying to heal through this. So there's tunnels and rooms like this that have really great chests. I found that most of the time the weapons that dropped were like swords, big heavy ones too. So Duchess is an amazingly fast character, beautiful movement, but she has like a dagger or knife, like a little knife thing. So anything heavy just kind of is a bit flaccid for her. So I experienced that with her. And then with Recluse, you really don't want to be wielding a big sword around either. So I found that sort of all the sort of loots lent predominantly towards the big weapons. And so what I found the success was for this is just don't go nuts and go straight for the middle, do a boss rush type of thing. Just sort of gingerly make your way through, but don't hang around too far, because remember, this game's like it's like an Elden Ring BR, but you know, your enemies are PvE enemies. So we have this storm that goes around us on the map, and this rain that comes around, it'll kill you basically. And then you've just got to keep sort of making your way obviously towards the middle. But also the really great system that this has, which I love in any game, are the pin markers. So where you can just put your pin on the map, and so the other players can see what your intention is, where you want to go. And then if the pins are sort of placed together, then it lights up as white. It means it's sort of we're all agreeing on going to that location. So after you defeat a bigger type of enemy like this, there'll be this sort of whirling kind of blacky purple mist thing where you get to pick one of 3 presents basically. And there was at one point that I just picked the most wackiest thing, not this time, but I didn't know what it was, and there was this massive like 2-hand weapon. Like, oh my god, what am I doing here? But you know, sure enough, you get used to the thing. So here we've got a choice to have a bow, and then see how we switch it. We just put it into a little or a spare box, a spare inventory slot, and now I'm carrying Big Daddy bow, so we can just switch that with that first column. So that's what I sort of was like, what are you talking about? So you have to put the item that you want to use in that first column to, you know, as your main thing. And you can, like I said before, you can switch them out. So position 1 is, as you can see on the screen. Then if I use my D-pad to cycle them, it'll just change it to whatever is in the second slot. But at this point in time, I couldn't use the bow because the bow was, you have to be level 9 to use it. So that's what a lot of the features have in it, is that you have to be a certain level to be able to use it. And it's honestly not that far away. The way that you can blow through money is go to the vendors, and they're these sort of transparent dudes. If you've played Elden Ring, you'll know what they look like. They're sort of sitting down, and the dude's transparent in this, and you can use armament, smithing stones to increase your, if you really love your weapon. I didn't find too many smithing stones though, but I was not looking, you know, I wasn't going on a loot frenzy for these. But as you can see, look at the ground there, the sort of icy storm is touching. So this is where you sort of hoof it out of there. So you can see the map there, you can see the ring start to close in, and then I'm like, okay, where do we go? All right, I'm just gonna chuck that down there. And what you want to do is grab the sights of grace as you go down, because if somebody does fall down, they will respawn, and if they can't be picked up, they'll respawn at the site of grace that you've touched. So I sort of wanted to make a beeline straight for the site of grace, so at least that would give us a point of spawning that's closer to where we are. And then obviously going to the site of grace to level up your character by the runes that you have at the top right is the most important part, because it allows you to not only level up your HP and mana, etc., but also it enables you to utilize the weapons that you've picked up that might have been too high for you, level too high for you, like that bow, for example. So there's a lot of mini kind of bosses in each main area, each main tower. There's also invasions that happen in the game, so you might get a fell omen that might invade your game. This is just another NPC, and they're rough. They will rip you right apart, so you kind of got to be mindful of that. And while you're watching this, you're probably going, Epic, why the hell is there no sound in this part of it? There's sound in the boss fight later on, but I was watching a movie at the time that I was recording this too, and then I thought, oh, I had no plans of uploading this whole thing, so I had to mute that because that would have been weird. And then I've uploaded music to go with this, so it's sort of it's as good as I could do. So next time there's network testing, I'll do a run through that, and with all the sound and all the glory. But right now I grab those like claws, like a Wolverine type of claw things, and they go hard. I really like those. and then just kept my staff and then just slap, 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 slash, 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 just go nuts. This team was really good. They were super, super competent. One of the first runs I had was I just died perpetually. It was really bad, and I thought, oh my god. Now that's another thing. If you have somebody leave, it's not like a bot replaces you. That person that leaves, it's not like another player comes into your game. If you're left with 2 people, that's what you're left with. If you are left by 2 people, then you're by yourself. So be mindful, I think, about the time that you have to invest in playing it, because nobody should be, spending half an hour with a run and then somebody just hoofing it out of there. It's not very nice. So I think it's around about like a 40-minute run-ish. Some of them I've seen to be a bit more than that. I'm not sure how that exactly works, because it should, in theory, be the same, but I'm not sure. But around 40-45 minutes-ish. So definitely my hot tip is to just go through all the trash mobs on the way. Don't just make a beeline straight for the middle, because you're going to miss a lot of runes along the way. And as always, go to your sites of grace and level up every single time that you can touch one. And don't be afraid of doing the sort of larger, bosses, mini bosses like this. Well, he's not really, but he's a big, trash mob boss-ish thing. Mr. Jingle Jangle. And yeah, but you can go through so many trash mobs that, especially with the Scarlet Rot type of ones, there's heaps of them there that you could just mow through. And especially with Recluse, she's got her ability to do that sort of swipey slash thing that can just mow them all down simultaneously, which is very nice, I think, to have. But I highly recommend Duchess. Duchess, if you like rogues, for example, Duchess is very fast. She can just dance around them, and she can make everybody invisible, and that is an incredibly helpful ability to have. And then she has another ability that allows the actions that have been done to an enemy to be repeated over the last X. I don't know what the timing is for that, but I didn't really use that much. I probably should have. And as you can see, this is where your tootsies start to get burnt. Run. If you played Fortnite, you know what to do. Just keep running and healing through that. And you can see the side of grace down there. And just heal your way through it. And it's sweet, but I think it looks beautiful. This would be incredibly fun if you know the other people. Like I said, this run was totally complete. We got to night 3. Not too many problems, really. There's been times that we split up, so it wasn't so difficult where we had to stick together the whole time, otherwise, all hell broke loose. There's times that these two just, like up here, they just went ham on the different enemies, and they were fine, and slash, like there's a couple of slashes, that one's gone. And as you level up, you obviously become more powerful, and then you're just going to rip through the trash mobs. But if you make a beeline straight for the boss, you're not going to get those levels, and you're not going to be able to, I don't think you'll be able to defeat each knight probably efficiently. The first time that I did it, the first night boss just destroyed us to pieces. I thought, oh my god, this is really hard. But when you sort of pace yourself and just have a look at what's around you in the area, go through the tunnels, go through the underneath the castles, you'll never know what you might find. And especially these like mini bosses, like I said, they'll always give you a choice between 3 items. And as you can see, this one's got a reduced FP consumption, which is very important for the Recluse, because once she runs out, she has to gather like residue to fill up her FP. And I'm like, when I first played her, I'm like, what? How do I refill it? Does she not have a flask or something? But that's how she works. But I found it more helpful just to have my offhand as a weapon, so I could just slash, and a very quick one too. So the other feature that you'll see at before you leave on your expedition, there's this sort of relic altar there. And the relic altar is almost like if you played Elden Ring, you have like a sacred, like a flask, right? So the flask, you can have two different elements in that flask, two different sort of tiers. Like there's the Twiggy Crack tier, and the Twiggy Crack tier enables you to not lose your runes, for example. So if you pass away, then you get to keep the runes that you would have lost otherwise. So the relic table works the same way as that. And so each character has 3 slots, right? And those 3 slots you can put the relics into. And you'll get relics when you finish each run. So even if you don't get to, night 2 or whatever, you still will get relics. You'll get something from that experience as a consolation prize. You won't get armor, you won't get anything like that, but you'll get relics. And the relics will be quite amazing. Some of them, they'll be like, when you start the expedition, your weapon will be infused with fire. There'll be one that when you heal yourself, it heals allies, etc. Really lovely relics. So this is the first boss, which is a centipede demon. And he's a ruffian, he's a rough boy. And I was super hesitant with this one because the first time I played it, he ripped me to pieces. I'm standing back here and just sort of staying out of the way while they sort of tank it more, instead of being a moron and running in there, as a caster, which is not, the smartest thing to do, but sometimes you've got to do it. And sometimes your buddies will fall down and you have to go pick them up. What I did find was that people can use their bows to shoot their buddies back to life, which is very interesting. And I was curious, I didn't get to try this, if you could throw pots at your pals to get them up either. So basically you do damage to bring them back to life. So I hadn't tried that. I'll probably try that next time, and we'll see. So Bro goes up in the sky, he comes down with a big smash, and then they're just going to go ream him again to pieces. This is a great time if you're Duchess to make, go invisible, etc. And then also do that time, that repeat of time ability that she has. But if you're, like a little weakling like me, kind of stay out the way. But chopping away at Bro's feet is fine, all fine, good and well too. And I'm like, oh no, that hurt me a little bit too much. I'm a little bit too squishy. Just get out the way again. And so it's just about, knowing your character enough and knowing its sort of limits to what it can do. So I'm just letting them do all the crazy stuff. And if you played, any kind of Soulsy type of games, I think evasion is something that you start to get very proficient in. I think the first time that I started to get better at doing that, you'll see this in the boss fight at the end, is just dodging the fire and just moving out of the way and not sort of panicking, So in some games I would just roll and, the stamina would run out by doing that. But if you just sort of sidestep, it makes life a lot easier. So with a lot of these fights, it's just stepping out of the way from their attacks that can save a lot of drama. So that's night 1 done, victory achieved. They're the spoils of war that we could take a pick from. And then we go on to the next night, and that's when the map clears. So the map goes clear, we start again fresh. The storm circle is reset and then goes in, and then we do the second boss of the run after that. So critical hit, I picked that one, and then the ring, which I think looks so pretty. We see this mist happen, and then we are sort of reborn again, basically, really. But we sort of go through the second night. So this is very different to what I expected. I expected it to be more, not so much story based. I expected it to be less fast paced, if you will. I expected it to be less, I don't want to say Fortnite, but less BR-y, which is fine with me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm happier it's this way, because 40 minutes is a pretty neat time to do a run, I think. And I just love looting. I love going through these areas and discovering them, and you start to get to know them. I don't know how they're going to change the features of this. There's a play test going on tonight, which I'll miss out on because I'll be up in Brisbane. But the next one I'll be doing and recording all of that. So definitely watch the channel for that. And we'll try maybe do the Duchess next time. But there's not a lot of play tests left, unfortunately. But again, I'll be covering this like a maniac when this fully comes out. But I've had a wonderful time with it. I can't really complain about anything in it. So here we've got my inventory is full, basically. And so we have to switch something out, right? So we go, which one do we want? And it will pick up, so this is a hot tip also. If you want to drop a weapon for somebody in your team, you can loot an item that's like on the ground, for example, and switch it out for one in your inventory, and it'll sort of spit it out. And what I do down at some point, I can't remember what it was, I sort of accidentally dropped my fancy bow on the ground, and then they wanted it, which is cool and fine and dandy with me, because, you know, they have... I think they have abilities that they might have had relics that give them +3 to bow attacks, etc., which I don't believe she can have, because her relics are green ones only. And yes, they're all colour-coded. So, and there's no fall damage either, which is a godsend. If they had fall damage in this, there would have been an absolute travesty, and it would be a train wreck. Thank God. Look, you just jump off. Whee! So that thing that I just jumped past, that purpley blue thing, that's a spirit spring. So you remember when you played Elden Ring, you would get on Torrent, the horse, and you would use the spirit springs, and it would take you up the mountains. So here you just go up the spirit spring, and it won't just put you in one spot. You can sort of aim towards a different place, which is amazing, you know. So, for example, this castle on the left-hand side, like when you look at that spirit spring, you think, if I jump up there, it puts me straight up here. But you don't have to go that way. You can go back and jump on the roof of the other castle, which is really amazing. So though, keep that in mind. It's not just to get up that side. You can go basically anywhere that it sort of allows you to. So this is where I kind of rogue run it as usual and have a look around, just because this is where I ended up. And I'm like, oh, shivers, I don't want to be here. Let me take off. I don't want to do this by myself. Help, my friends, help. And then I sort of make my way to them. And you can see them up on the top sort of compass section. You can see their like icons, and then you can see where runes have been dropped. You can see where the main marker is. So another hot tip is absolutely always put your pin in your map as often as you can when you need to. So when you've progressed to the point where everybody's put their marker, then move your marker to the next spot, then move your marker to the next spot. So it allows communication without words, basically, when you're playing with strangers. So here I'm bloodied and battered, and then making my way straight towards the site of grace. 23,000 runes ain't enough to level up, I don't think. I don't actually remember what I was doing in this part, but then I've come back to life again. And then making my way straight towards these two guys. So thank you so much to Alpha Wolfang 476 and That Geek. It was a pleasure playing with you, and hopefully, and I added them to my friends after that. It's nice, say you just meet people that you sort of vibe with just by playing a game, and we had a great time, I think. So these are all sort of trash mobs again, just whip your hair back and forth, slash. These guys were very ballsy. I found that everybody that I played with was that way. They went straight for big bosses too. They did their trash on the side. I sort of cleaned up stuff on the side too. But yeah, very aggressive plays, which I like that, because I'm a bit of a scaredy cat, and that's because also the recluse is quite squishy. Obviously, she ain't no tank. So they're all cleaned up, and then this area is really cool. It's got that jingle jangle guy around too, and then the firehead dude. This particular night was the boss. The end boss is Gladius, and Gladius is this beast that splits into 3 wolf-like creatures, and that's very difficult to handle, I find, because you have to kind of, you want to focus on the one particular boss, but if somebody switches and changes to a different boss, then you're like, well, damn. I don't know. I mean, it would have been nice to be able to have like a clear marker to sort of let everybody know this is the boss I'm doing, even though they're standing and slashing the boss, or any mob for instance, you know. So if you play Warcraft, you know, you could mark them with little markers on top of their heads, which is, you know, the skull meant, you know, leave that one till last or whatever. So that would be handy. That would be my little hot tip, my little feedback piece for that. And also perhaps with the weapon drops, like as you can see, big daddy, like what am I going to do with them? And then at least they give you that sort of bonus other item that you can have, that can come in handy, that's not a weapon. So there we got the big bow here, and my stuff is full, and then this dude's, and I'm like, oh god, okay, just take my big bow, okay, all good. That's the bit I was talking about before. But then we have a look at that sort of map sort of starting to shrink in again. We were very lucky to have the second boss as Fell Omen, which was much easier than what I expected. You know, I was sort of, oh, okay, well that's night 2 done. See ya, let's get on to the night 3. Because I'd totally forgotten how long the run was. You know, I just couldn't recall. So here, going through this beautiful land again, it's kind of a bummer that you don't get to enjoy the landscape too much, because you got to keep trucking through it. But again, you know, we've got the Site of Grace there, sitting there with 57,000 runes, and then pump it up to the next level, and I'm looking up there going, oh, 24,000. You know, we're kind of a little bit away where we need to be. We need to be level 9 to use that bow. So off we go again up to this next spot, and it's nice. Right near the Sites of Grace is always, you know, some sort of location where you can upgrade your stuff, and get some good gear. There's, you know, some great sort of epic items everywhere. You know, see purple items, you see legendary items around too, if you're lucky. I only saw one legendary item. So running up that hill, and then you know, continually moving towards the middle and the middle and the middle and the middle. And this dude tries to poke us on the way past. Say, nah, let's keep moving. And then always keep your sort of eye on where the storm is too. Like you play Fortnite, you know exactly just to keep moving. And this is that Scarlet Rot kind of area that I mentioned, where there's a lot of these guys. So yes, they do the blood loss type of thing. I'm pretty sure they're not Scarlet Rot one. Maybe they aren't. I don't know. But they often hang out in a big cluster together where you could just slash. So if you've got a big sort of big weapon that does a sweeping motion, very nice. And I was just looking at the sky here because I just thought it was absolutely lovely. Someone found the Site of Grace there, which is nice. So again, if somebody falls down, that's where they'll come out of. And again, you know, look at this party over here. It's like, ooh, this is worth giving a bit of a slash. So slash with that brr, brr, over and over again, and watching those runes 600, etc. And then, yeah, once you get your eye on a bunch of trash together, the rest is kind of history. And then Geek comes in and goes whack, 600. So it's really worth checking out those areas where there's a lot, and then bang, just decimating them to bits and pieces of meat, basically. Yeah. So she's out of her mana now, and then I've got my little Wolverine claw thing, and then there's chests down here. So as you can see, there's some more of the hook claws there. And then we can, I just think I saw that have lifesteal on it then. But there we've got the Starlight Shards, which restore your FP, Big Axe, etc. But again, you know, if you pick up something by accident, you can drop it by switching it out with another weapon that you pick up, which is nice to have. So off we go. We have to start moving now because the storm, she's a-coming soon. But again, you know, you've basically just got to heal through everything. Once you get to the side of grace, then, you know, Bob's your uncle, basically. So we can see the storm creeping in there. We go, oh, okay, better go run towards the middle again. And the wall running is amazing in this. It is so forgiving. Most of it you can traverse, I find. Some parts you can't. On the walls there'll be like white, you don't always need to have those white scratchy pieces. You can do wall running on most walls, but some of them won't let you up. But if you look at the map, if you bring up the map, you'll see the Spirit Spring icons, that they're like this sort of whirling kind of shape in sort of dark blue, and that will tell you where you can go, you know, fly up straight through to wherever the hell you want to go to. So again, we got some trash here. We're sitting at 39,000 runes. And this is not too bad for, you know, the second playtest day and maybe my third or fourth run, and the other ones failed. It wasn't too bad, especially with this character being the first time that I gave it a slap. So here we've moved into the central area. The market has gone down. And we have a side of grace there, and then they're coming. Just hang out and wait. So over here, waiting for our team, and sitting at 44,000 runes. And if you fully die, you'll lose a level, which is not very pleasant. So yeah, if you fully die, go to a side of grace to come back to life, then you'll lose a whole level. So you don't want to get your booty burned by the storm, or, you know, die in general. So it's coming in, and then we get to this section here, and just using the bow, give it a slash. I'm like, oh, you're not touching. I need to get a bit closer to this little scarab thing. And the scarabs are also shown on the map too, which is very generous. And then I just hoof it, basically, to this middle sort of section here. And we're waiting for the storm to come in. We have a couple of these big daddies here, but their bark is worse than their bite. Slash, and then it happens. Night to end. And then celebrate. Then the Fell Omen comes. So we're going to destroy that one. This one felt very easy compared to previous ones. So this is where you need to sort of dodge those projectiles if you can. Sometimes you might be, in the middle of an animation and you can't dodge things, obviously. That's just tough titties, So it's just beautiful. But again, my apologies that there's not full bang sound in this. But you wouldn't want to be listening to a movie playing in the background. It didn't even dawn on me. I thought, I'm just going to capture footage and that's it. Put it together, nice and neat. But then I thought, oh, shivers, maybe you want to see the whole run and what it looks like and the journey on the way there. So it's half dead at the moment. Good old Fell Omen. And like I said, the Fell Omen can also come in and really mess you up in the middle of just running down a hill, for example. It's a nice surprise, like having an invasion happen when you're playing Sniper Elite, and also, you know, in Elden Ring, where you have those NPC invaders, which are very scary. I find them far more scary when they're smaller than that, when they're like a human being looking thing running towards you. That just freaks me out more than anything. And they're lit up red. I think that's the scariest part in the game. I can't even explain it to you. Invasions just freak me out. So we can shuffle around here, let them just go nuts and tank it. No FP left, so we're sort of stuck with, okay, we can do incantations, etc. Or we can bring out a little slash hooky hands, claw hands, or our big bow. Now we can use it. So that bow, you kind of need to be a little bit closer than what you would think with it. Some of the relics allow you to have a better range though, so just keep your eye on the relics when you have them at the end of your run. And then, lovely. So Fellow Omen is nearly fell, and it's nearly all over Red Rover for them. But they got a lot of, they're a little bit of a sponge, they are, I'm not going to lie. But this team's doing a really good job. And I just sort of stand back. So I don't mind, I don't particularly like being a tank at all, I don't like that. I don't mind being like a melee DPS either. I'd prefer just to be a caster type, or somebody that's far away and be too much of a wuss to be up close. Well, wait till I play the Duchess and we'll see how motivated I am to get up close and personal. So this is the part that goes to the next bit, and it's this big sort of slimy bubble thing, and it takes you to this sanctuary. And the sanctuary allows you to go to the merchant, like this big room here, on day 3. So you can go to the merchant there. If you've got smithing stones, you can pump up your arms, and get your, like I said, get your supplies from the merchant if it tickles your fancy. And there's a side of grace to level up too. So this is an interesting part, because this particular night, you just go straight from here to the boss. It's not like you go through another whole night through, you know, a whole area. We just go straight through the door. And once you open the door, then it's on. And then you get all these things like your prawn meat, etc. Got my starlight shards. You can get throwing daggers, etc. I'm curious if the throwing daggers actually revive your pals, your friends. So I just took a moment here with this shot. I'm like, oh my god, this is just absolutely stunning. You can have it so you don't have user interface on either. I don't know why I would want to do that. I can't imagine not seeing the teammates things. I never put it on, so I don't know. So now I'm sort of mentally preparing, like, what the hell is through this door, because I had no idea. So it'll go through this animation at the door, where you'll go up and push it open, and then surprise, we get to see the Night Lord, whatever Night Lord that is, and in this case it's Gladius, which is the triple-headed beast. So this one's got sound. I'm so pleased that you stuck with this whole thing, but this scene is really beautiful, and yes, enjoy this boss fight. And I'll see you on the next live stream or the next video. Thank you for hanging out, and off we go.